Hi guys, hope you're well. Welcome to the 1st of February and also welcome to the magic of Imbolc, which is a pagan festival, a pagan sort of time period, and it's celebrated between the 1st of February and it ends on the 2nd of February at sort of around midnight time. And it's basically, Imbolc means, it actually means in the belly, and it's about sort of the rebirth, the welcoming of light back into the world. So it's the time period where we welcome the energy of spring coming back into sort of our life. And yeah, it's, to me, it's almost like the renewal, it's the welcoming of the sun coming back into the world. And I don't know about you guys, but it's been a really strange, really long kind of winter time. So I'm looking forward to sort of, you know, more gentle times, certainly more comfortable times. And some of you may have noticed on the sort of lighter days that the nights are actually sort of creeping back out. We're getting a little bit more daylight that's sort of lasting a little bit longer. That's what Imbolc is about, celebration and sort of celebrating and bringing back into our world. Really, it is that light. And like I say, it just feels like this winter's been really dark, really heavy. It feels like it's been never ending, probably due to the pandemic, but yeah, it's been a bit ongoing, hasn't it? So guys, as ever, I am going to be doing the February sort of tarot forecast for you. I'll be using the Areeful Visions Tarot by Matt Hughes, which is sort of my go-to deck, and I will be finishing off with a blessings reading with the Blessed Bee cards by Lucy Cavendish. So what we'll do, the first card will represent opportunities throughout February time. The second card will indicate any obstacles that we need to be aware of. And the third card will represent and indicate any lessons that may come our way through February time as well. And like I say, we'll end with a Blessed Bee deck. Hang on, that's just like thrown itself across the room, as they tend to do. They tend to always do that. It's really funny. Okay, so bear with me. Let's just get our obstacles card. Oops. Okay, these are going a bit mental today, these cards. Right. Okay. And our final card will be our lessons. Got some interesting cards coming out here, guys. Okay, let's just not wanting to give me them very quickly today. That one's decided it wants to kind of come out. Okay, interesting. So, and then we'll pick the Blessed Bee one afterwards. So, opportunities. This is the one that sort of threw itself across the room. So we're going into the Magician. So the Magician is a really positive card when it shows. Now the Magician wants to actually gift us and bring balance to our life, which is really important. So you've got an equal amount of everything here. You've got the Pentacle, which can represent kind of our monetary side of a life, tends to sort of indicate our materialistic side of things, but it's also how we acquire and receive you know, foundations of money. You've got the Sword there, which is all about boundary setting. It's sort of spiritual protection, putting things in place. Not necessarily saying that you need to use it on anybody, but it's there should you need to. You've got the Cup, which is important. That represents your emotions of everything, and it's seeing things from a sort of like like seeing a cup of life like full of opportunity, full of wonder, as opposed to like a half-hearted space. And obviously we've got the Wand, and the Wand is where you have your power, your magic, your purpose. Now we've got this sort of snake around the edge, and I sort of see this as like this sort of releasing, if you like, the shedding, the layers, the letting go of stuff in order to sort of welcome and honour the new. And the flowers are opening up and blossoming, which is a really good time to receive those if you think of the magic with spring, and that obviously is the awakening of, you know, new life coming back into the world. Now ultimately when the Magician shows itself, what it's basically talking about, what it's basically offering, particularly as this is in terms of opportunities, this is basically about being the doorkeeper of your own destiny. And the magician knows no bounds, he knows no limitations. He can use and spellcast his magic in the way that's going to sort of work best for him. Okay, and it's just really, really important with this card to, you know, give yourself permission to receive the best of what you feel entitled to. So not being sort of hindered, not being put off by anything from a physical place, a practical place, but also, you know, an emotional or a spiritual place. This is giving yourself permission to put your best foot forward. So this card is almost like, you know, if someone was to say to you, you can't do that, the magician might decide to do it just to prove to somebody, well, look, I can actually do this, and I've actually done it to the best of my ability, the best of my qualities. You know, they won't be sort of limited by anybody else's expectations. Magician is all about living your best life, and also living an authentic life, living a life that works and serves for you. So it's really a card about keeping things real as well. So that's going to be coming in for a lot of you with this time period. Now, as we're going into card 2, we're going into obstacles. So we're going into the Queen of Cups. Now, when the Queen of Cups shows in tarot, this is all about giving yourself permission to be gentle, to be very sort of, you know, loving and nurturing to yourself. This is about really honouring your crown, your throne. And because it's from an emotional place, this is about not sort of self-sabotaging anything. So the Queen of Cups is wanting to nurture your emotional space. She's a little bit like the mother figure within the tarot. And because it's a queen as well, it's remembering to stay true to your beliefs, true to your values, true to your principles. Don't let anybody try and dictate to you or try and steal anything from your personal cup of life. So it could be, because we're looking at this in terms of obstacles, it's really important not to let physical situations or physical people try and tarnish her or dictate. So the Queen knows that she's good enough to live life in her own space, in her own time. She's actually in competition with nobody. Again, like the Magician, both of these are indicating authentic magic, authentic living, and she's sort of caring for herself. It is about sort of self-love, self-care. So again, if you've been feeling quite hard upon yourself, or if you've been being sort of like in quite a sort of depressed or negative energy, it's about nurturing, it's about doing all the healing of things in order to sort of see your cup full of wonder, full of hope, full of opportunity. So the Queen gets to a place of recognition where she can sit on her throne, she can put the crown on, she doesn't need to question if she deserves to be in that space. She knows that she's good enough to sort of actually just to get on with it. This is also nurturing ideas as well. So it could be that you've got some plans, some ideas, some things you want to put into place or bring into your life, and maybe you're a little bit scared to act upon those things, and the Queen is just giving you that strength, that nurturing energy, almost to just say, go on, grab those opportunities, you're good enough to receive those things. So the Queen is definitely working kind of with you. It could be as well, this comes up a lot if there have been complicated relationships, that might be romantically, with career, with jobs. It could also be with family members or friends. So there could be some repair work that has to happen, or some healing from things that may have come to an end. Could be those vibrations as well. But this is all about being able to overcome those problems and putting your best foot forward. So there's a lot of nurturing coming in from the feminine lines this month for us. Now, as we're going into our lessons, this is a really interesting card because we're going into the Seven of Cups. Now, Seven of Cups, when it shows, can indicate that we're feeling, or we may feel at times, quite overwhelmed by stuff. This card is usually indicating too much is happening at once, and we're feeling a little bit lost, sometimes struggling to see the wood for the trees. And emotionally, we just might feel a little bit all over the place. And basically, this is indicating that could happen for some of us this month. I think largely some of this is probably related to the pandemic, particularly those people that have had businesses kind of hindered or blocked, for people that are having to parent and be teachers as well as doing their day jobs, and just, you know, the general thing of having to do all of that sort of stuff. There's a lot going on with this card. This is also about like revealing, it's exposing, it's clearing, it's cleansing. So because we've got the mask there, the mask is starting to slip. So there's two aspects to that. First of all, you might be someone that's been putting on this amazing show to the outside world. Everything's fine, everything's larger than life, but really you might not be feeling that way. And you might find through February time your personal mask might start to slip, but it might be a good thing, because it might be that you need to actually show the real you. You maybe need to actually let people in and just sort of, if you're struggling, if you're sort of suffering in any sort of way, emotionally, physically or mentally, maybe reaching out to people. It's really important not to suffer in silence, particularly at this time period. And that goes a little bit back to the Queen there as well. She's wanting to nurture things. It could be for some of you as well that there are some mistruths, or there are some things that you expose and that you reveal to the surface on a personal level. And if those things happen, it's seeking the lessons, the learnings of those situations that may present themselves. The skull is kind of a death of something as well. So it could be for some of you that you actually reach a point where you decide, I don't want to embrace or accept that style of living or that type of behaviour anymore. And because we've got this big sort of dinosaur or dragon at the bottom, this can sometimes indicate that there could be a bit of an elephant in the room, and things may actually need to be addressed. So for some of you, if there have been conversations that have been suppressed and they've not really been dealt with, again, it could be family matters, legal matters, it could be again through career or jobs or work, whatever it might be, things might come to the surface, things might have to be addressed. And it's the lessons, it's the learnings of, you know, exposing, revealing, working through these things so that you can actually move forward. Because ultimately this card doesn't want you to stay in an energy where you feel overwhelmed, where you feel like, you know, really sort of just burnt out or tired by everything that you're going through. But for change to happen, it's about acknowledgement of it. And sometimes that's the scary part to do, isn't it? Having to acknowledge something we don't want to, because we know that it might open up a bit of a can of worms, or it might, you know, open up certain communications that perhaps on some level we're not ready to receive. But going back to the Magician card, we have to understand what these things are in order for the Magician to basically be actioned. So a really interesting sort of set of, quite a weird set of cards in some ways, or not weird, but just that there's definitely going to be quite a lot of unravelling of stuff that I think a lot of us are going to be going through with February time. But I think it's an important time period. It needs to happen, really. So I'm just going to finish with a blessings card, a blessed bee card. So we'll sort of see, and this will just conclude our February time, really, guys. Okay, so okay, a blessing on your love. This is really nice, and I think this is the most important thing that we need to be remembering at this time. This isn't just relationships, this is also sort of self-love, I feel, very much. And it's a blessing in love, or on your love, in really all directions. So I talk a lot about love is the vibration that we all need to be working with. And if you look at this pandemic, it's really bringing out in some people the best, the beauty, but in some people it's bringing out the real ugliness as well. Some people are getting really shitty with their beliefs, their ideas, and quite imposing. And at the end of the day, I think in terms of where that's concerned, we have to work from the vibration of love. And whether you agree if someone's wearing a mask or not, or all these different things that are going on, stay true to your beliefs, your principles. Don't attack, don't sabotage another person. And remembering that everybody is fighting a sort of invisible battle. Very often people are going through things that they might not publicly be talking about, and there may not always seem a reason why someone isn't necessarily wearing a mask or isn't doing a certain thing or whatever, but there could be this battle that they're actually up against that you just have no awareness for, but because perhaps they don't want you to know. So it's really, really important to just keep working from that vibration of love. And a blessing on your love, I also see this as, you know, celebrating all that immediate love that is around you, within your family, with friendship circles, loved ones that are here on the physical earth, but also your loved ones in the spirit world as well. Because like I say, love is the vibration that can heal and change everything. But it has to start with you. Don't worry about what Tom, Dick or Harry is doing. How are you using that vibration of love? Are you using it in a correct space? Because if you are, it can spill over to other people. It's that whole thing we talk about a lot of, ripple effect. Okay, but if you're actually wanting to receive it from other sources, but not actually tapping into it and using it yourself, that's what you need to adjust and work with. Okay, I also see this as honouring nature and the earth, and I think, again, the reason I think this pandemic is largely still going on is because as people we're not learning, we're not actually understanding what Mother Earth is trying to teach us. So it's actually needing us as a collective to be a bit more loving, to be a bit more accepting, and to be a bit more committed to how we use the earth itself. Okay, the respect that we have. So I think there's a lot of key pieces to this card, actually. Okay, so a really, really interesting time period for February. But I hope this reading resonates. I hope it makes sense for you. So just to clarify with the first three cards, opportunities with the Magician being the doorkeeper of your own destiny and accessing your own magic. Don't need to compare it to what anybody else is doing. Accessing it, independent living, authentic living, your unique magic. It's time to harness it. Obstacles with the Queen of Cups, being sort of gentle on yourself, definitely not self-sabotaging. If you get those days where you feel a bit tired, a bit down, or a bit overwhelmed, continue to sort of make sure your crown stands firmly upon your head. So this is a lot about nurturing energy for this month. And the lessons, you know, anything that's feeling a little bit overwhelming, and it might feel a little bit kind of, you know, out of depth at the moment, you'll have the magic, the power to overcome the blockages, to overcome the problems, to work through anything that might just feel a little bit overwhelming. Having the awareness and being real to yourself. Don't try and sort of think a problem's going to sort of rectify itself without your energy, without your input. If you know something isn't working, if you know something is, you know, broken a little bit, or just not kind of giving you the best experience, acknowledge it, make the changes, however scary or uncomfortable they might be, because you'll find that you can actually restore a level of certainly freedom and releasing, really. And again, keep being guided by the power, the magic of love. So blessing on your love. That to me is like your own moral compass, how you choose to actually gift and use your vibration of love, not just to other people, but to the universe at this time. So going to leave the energy of this reading with you. Hope it resonates, hope it helps. Stay safe, stay well, have a fantastic Imbolc if you decide to do a blessing spell or a ritual, or just want to celebrate and honour the day, and have a fantastic February. Yes, we may be in a complete lockdown still, but you know, let's still really kind of give ourselves permission to receive the beauty, the love, and you know, all of these great things that we can still actually access. They're not actually sort of hidden from view, they're still accessible if you want them to be. So I'm going to leave the energy of this with you. Hope it resonates and helps. Catch you guys soon. Bye.